Because you might know a little something about those 2016
Listen,
but
you want to team me? No, I'm kidding.
we're not going to go there. We're going to bring in our NBA front office insider, Bobby Marks, because there's so many questions now that the Boston Celtics have to answer, Bobby. They fell short of their goal. So what to you is the number one thing they're going to have to look at this offseason?
Well, the number one thing is going to be Jaylen Brown here. As far as Supermax eligible starting July 1st, 5 years, $295 million. Ooh. They have up until October 23rd to extend him here. And I think the big picture is going to be, can you sustain two players that are going to make $600 million when you look at Jason Tatum the following year? I think for the short term, yes. If I was in that Boston front office, I would extend Jaylen Brown. Okay. And then I would pivot a year from now or 2 years from now if needed here. But when I look at their age and when I look at Jaylen Brown on an expiring contract, I don't see him having that much value on an expiring compared to a player on a 5-year extension. Remember, though, Brown cannot be traded for a year after he signs that extension. But for me, it's basically bringing back this group. And, of course, you've got to figure out what happens with Grant Williams, who's also a restricted free agent.
Okay, so that's the roster. Are there any questions outside of the personnel who are actually on the team, the players that you're looking at?
Well, for me, it's really not the player. If I was in that Boston ownership group, I would have questions about Joe Mazzulla as far as from a coaching standpoint. And I know they signed him to that extension. He has another 3 years left. But when I look at Monty Williams, who's out there, Mike Budenholzer, who's out there. Certainly Nick Nurse is not available right now.
Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers, as Perk said. Is there a veteran coach out there that maybe is an upgrade here? And, of course, Brad Stevens is going to make that call here. But for me, outside of the roster, that's kind of where my focus would be.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.